Forgive and forget. I mean, it's probably the most famous piece of advice out there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
right up there with, time heals all wounds. It's the standard advice. Just wipe the slate clean and everything will be fine.
Yeah, the turn it off and on again of emotional health.
Exactly. But today, we're looking at a source that says this advice isn't just simplistic. It might actually be a trap.
It's worse than a trap. I mean, according to the breakdown we're looking at today, forgive and forget it's a contradiction.
A contradiction. How so?
It's asking your brain to do two things that are basically opposed to each other. And the source argues that trying to force them together is exactly why people get stuck.
Okay, this is the deep dive. I'm really excited for this one. We're analyzing this fascinating audio recording. It's a philosophical dissection of forgiveness. But the hook is, it doesn't treat forgiveness like some, moral high ground. It's not about being a good person. It treats it more like mechanics.
Mechanics is a great word for it. Or even better, economics.
Economics.
Yeah. The whole framework is about value assignment. It asks a pretty brutal question. What's the current market value of your pain? And are you the one keeping that price high?
Wow. That is a radical shift.
Yeah.
Because we usually think of forgiveness as something we do for other people, right? I forgive you because I'm taking the high road. But this source just flips that completely on its head. It says true forgiveness is a strategic, almost selfish move.
A selfish move to crash the market value of your own trauma so you can actually function. It's this very specific, almost ruthless approach to emotional health. It's not soft at all.
So that's our mission for this deep dive then, to decode this strategy.
Right. We need to understand the difference between forgiving and forgetting, because they are not the same thing. And then we have to unpack the central metaphor of the gold nugget.
Which is honestly one of the most interesting takes on memory I've ever come across.
It's brilliant.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The source opens with this visualization, a morning routine.
Yeah, but it's not about, drinking lemon water or journaling. It's about the state of mind you wake up in.
Before your feet even hit the floor.
Exactly. The source describes waking up with nothing to regret, with nothing to beat yourself up for. It's this image of a completely clean ledger.
Before you've even had coffee, you've decided you aren't carrying any debt from yesterday.
You're not dragging yesterday's failures into the new morning.
Which sounds amazing, but also incredibly difficult. I mean, most of us wake up and the first thing we do is download yesterday's anxiety.
That's the default setting, right? We wake up on the defensive. But the source argues that if you can achieve this self-forgiveness, this refusal to beat yourself up,
Right.
it creates a specific kind of energy.
Contagious optimism. That's the phrase it uses.
Mm-hmm.
You picture someone walking into a room and lighting it up.
You'd think so. You'd think everyone loves a happy person. But this is where the source takes a turn that I've found, well, really insightful and kind of dork.
It's not what you'd expect.
Not at all. It warns that this contagious optimism doesn't always lead to popularity. In fact, it can do the opposite.
Right, I flagged this part. It felt so counterintuitive. The source says, when you're that genuinely happy, people look at you and wonder, what is it about you that makes you feel so good? And they don't like it.
They might actively hate. I mean, the source suggests that we often bond over shared misery.
There's a social contract.
Yes, that says, life is hard, we should all be a little bit miserable. So when you break that contract by refusing to beat yourself up, you become a mirror.
A mirror showing them that they're choosing to be miserable.
Precisely. You remind them that they are beating themselves up, and that makes them incredibly uncomfortable. It even says people will try to explain to you why you shouldn't feel positive.
They try to drag you back down.
It's the crab bucket mentality. And this sets the stage for the next, much harder part of this. If you're going to walk around with this radical self-forgiveness, you are going to attract some envy.
And that means you have to be ready to forgive the people who are attacking you just for being happy.
And we're not talking about small things here. The list of offenses the source says we have to forgive, it's not light stuff.
No, it's a heavy list. It explicitly mentions name-calling, manipulation, and people who misunderstand who you are. That one really stuck with me.
It's a very specific kind of pain, isn't it?
Yeah, being seen incorrectly by someone.
It is. But the one that really stood out to me was the phrase installing terror. Forgiving people who try to drug you down or install terror and fear in your heart and mind.
That's not accidental. That sounds like psychological warfare. Installing terror.
It implies a deliberate, malicious attempt to break you, to control you with fear, and yet the source is absolutely adamant you must forgive them.
Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. I think every listener is asking this right now. If someone is trying to install terror in my mind,
Mhm.
why on earth should I forgive them?
The instinct is to fight back, or at least hold a grudge. It feels like justice to stay angry. And that's where, according to this, we get the math wrong. If you hold the grudge, you think you're punishing them.
Right.
But the source says you forgive them because you owe it to yourself.
So it has nothing to do with whether they deserve it.
Nothing. It completely removes the perpetrator from the equation. If you're waiting for them to deserve it, you're giving them power over your emotional state.
But if you forgive because you owe it to yourself, you take that power back.
You're reclaiming it. And the source uses a powerful metaphor here. It calls unforgiveness the bondage of the past.
Bondage is a strong word.
It is, but it fits the mechanics. It's connected to this idea of a video player in your mind.
I want to dig into that because it's so visual. Unforgiveness as replaying the same scene, the same hurt, over and over in your head.
I'll think about what's actually happening when you do that. The event itself, the insult, the manipulation, it happened once. It had a start time and an end time. It's over.
But if you replay it in your mind 5 times a day for 10 years,
Who's doing the damage now?
you are. You're basically re-traumatizing yourself thousands of times for an event that happened once.
And here's the critical point the source makes. The replay causes more damage than the original event.
More. How can it be more?
Because every time you hit play, you're not just a passive observer. You're adding new emotion to it. You're reacting all over again. You are, as the source puts it, making it look like a big deal again.
You're feeding it, keeping it alive.
You're ensuring it never becomes the past because you keep making it the present.
So forgiveness, in this context, is just pressing the stop button.
That's the essence of it.
It's not saying the movie was good, it's just refusing to watch it again.
Exactly. But this leads right back to that confusion we started with. People think if they press stop, the whole tape should just disappear. They think forgiveness means forgetting.
And the source is so blunt about this. It says if you forget, you're not enlightened. You have a memory problem.
I love that line. It just cuts through so much nonsense. Your brain is designed to record data. It's a survival mechanism.
Right. You touch a hot stove, you forgive the stove, but you don't forget that it burns.
If you wiped your memory every time you were hurt, you'd be a danger to yourself. You need that data.
So we have to forgive, release the emotional hold, but remember the data. But the source acknowledges that's tricky. It talks about flashes.
Right. Even if you forgive, you might smell a perfume or hear a tone of voice and flash. The memory comes back. And this brings us to the core analogy, the gold nugget.
Okay, this took me a minute to get my head around, so let's break it down slowly. A painful memory, a trauma, is like a piece of gold.
The comparison is all about value and density. Think about gold. A huge gold bar is worth a lot. But a tiny, tiny flake of gold,
It's still gold.
it's still gold. It still has the same value per ounce in the market.
So the size of the trigger doesn't matter. A small flash of memory can carry the same heavy emotional charge as the main event.
Exactly. In your mind, that trauma has a high market value. It commands your attention, your resources. It's expensive to your nervous system. Whether it's a whole memory or a tiny reminder, the quality of the pain, the gold, is identical.
Okay, so that's the problem. I have this nugget of painful gold in my head.
Yeah.
My first instinct is to try and destroy it.
Of course.
I want to smash it. I want to analyze it until it disappears. We go to therapy, we talk to friends, we dissect. Why did they do this to me? We try to break the gold.
And the source says, stop. It explicitly warns what you're trying to do is not to break down the nugget.
But why not? If it hurts, why can't I break it down?
Because you can't. You can't smash gold into not gold. If you hit a gold nugget with a hammer, you just get smaller pieces of gold.
Oh, I see.
If you analyze the trauma endlessly, you're just spending more time handling the gold. You're validating its existence. You're confirming that it is, in fact, very valuable and worthy of all your time.
So by obsessing over the pain, we're actually driving up its stock price in our own minds.
Yes. You're creating a market where pain is the currency. The source has this chilling line. You can choose to give value to cold, same like everyone else.
Give value to cold. That implies most of the world runs on this economy. We trade grievances. We trade stories about being wronged.
It's a valid currency in social interactions, right? If you have a big gold nugget of trauma, you can trade that for sympathy, for attention, for an excuse not to try.
I can't do this because of what happened to me.
It buys you things, so the source is asking you to do something very difficult, bankrupt yourself.
Okay, so if we can't destroy the nugget and we can't forget it, how do we make it worthless? The source says inflation.
Value inflation. This is brilliant. It's economics applied to psychology. In the real world, to make a currency worthless, you don't burn the bills.
You just print a ton more of a different currency.
You flood the market. And the source says you need to flood the market of your mind, inflate the value of everything else, assign 100 times more value to other things.
And it's specific about what those other things are.
Very specific.
The present moment, enjoying life, being responsible, making wise decisions for the future.
It sounds simple, but think of it like an investment strategy. If you wake up and invest 99% of your energy and focus into the adventure of today, then the value of that past trauma just becomes negligible.
It's like if you have $10, losing $1 is a tragedy. That's 10% of your net worth.
Right.
But if you have $10 million, losing $1 doesn't even register. The dollar still exists. The memory is there, but it doesn't change your day.
That is the shift. The source says, when you do this, that old nugget of pain becomes like a rusty coin from a defunct country.
Well,
You can look at it. You remember when it used to buy you things? Sympathy, anger. But now,
it's worthless.
you can't buy a cup of coffee with it. You can't use it to ruin your morning.
So you haven't destroyed the memory. You've just made it so cheap it doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly. And this changes how you look to the outside world. It makes you look like you're worth something more.
Because you are. You're no longer defined by the past. You're trading in a stronger currency, the present. It makes you rare.
And it reinforces that this is an active process. I think forgiveness can feel so passive, like you're just letting go. But this sounds like aggressive investing.
It is extremely active. The source says, life is what you give value to.
Yeah.
That's the fundamental rule. If you value the slight, the insult, the terror,
Yeah.
then your life is that.
You've built a museum to your own pain.
But if you value the next adventure,
Yeah.
your life becomes that.
And here's the fascinating outcome. What happens to the bad memories when you do this? The source makes a claim that I struggled with at first. It says, all of a sudden, your past experience become good memories that you are happy to remember.
I caught that too. Good memories. For trauma, that seems like a stretch. How does betrayal become a good memory?
I don't think it means you look back and go, yeah, I'm so glad that happened. I don't think it's toxic positivity. I think good in this context means safe. Yes, it's been neutralized. Think about a bomb that's been diffused. It's still a bomb casing. It still looks scary, but you can put it on a museum shelf and look at it, and it won't hurt you.
It's just part of history.
Yeah.
Part of the story of who you are now.
So it's good because it's powerless.
And integrated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can look at it without flinching. The source talks about accepting reality. You stop fighting the past. You stop replaying the video, hoping for a different ending, and you just accept. This happened. It shaped me. And now I am here.
Living more than what it was. Being bigger than the event.
And always looking forward. The orientation is constantly toward the next adventure. If you're looking at the gold nugget, you're looking back. This inflation strategy forces you to look forward because that's where all the new value is.
You know, what strikes me about this whole philosophy is how empowering it is, but also how solitary it is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't ask for an apology from anyone. It doesn't require the other person to admit they were wrong.
It completely removes them from the equation, and that's the beauty of it. If you're waiting for an apology to heal, you are giving that person control over your life. You're saying, I can't be happy until you say the magic words.
And what if they never say them? You're just stuck forever, holding this gold nugget, waiting for someone else to buy it from you.
Exactly. This approach says, I am the central banker of my own emotional life. I decide what has value. And I've decided that your cruelty has zero market value in my world.
It puts the controls back in your hands. But it does require that discipline we talked about at the start. You have to be willing to be the happy person others might envy. You have to let go of the victim card.
And that's a useful card sometimes. It gets you sympathy. It gets you off the hook. Giving that up is a sacrifice. But the return on that investment, the freedom, the optimism, is worth infinitely more.
So let's just recap the whole mission here. It starts with the self.
Waking up with a clean slate, refusing to beat yourself up even if it confuses people, breaking that contract of shared misery.
Then, forgiving others. Not just the annoying people, but the dangerous ones. The ones who tried to install terror.
And we forgive them not because they're good, but because we deserve to stop watching that tape on repeat.
We press stop on the video player. We stop the re-traumatization. And finally, the execution. The strategy.
We don't try to forget, That's a memory problem. We don't try to break the gold nugget. That's impossible physics.
We just overwhelm it.
We unleash hyperinflation on our own trauma. We invest so heavily in the present, in the adventure of today, that the old currency of pain becomes worthless. We price it out of the market.
It's a shift from being a victim of your memory to being an investor in your future. It's challenging, but I think it's the only way to really be free.
It's the only way to stop looking back, and if you're looking back, you can't see where you're going.
So here's a question for you to carry with you. We all have those nuggets of gold, those old hurts we keep polished and safe in the back of our minds. We know exactly where they are.
And we usually think they hurt us because of what happened. We blame the event. But if we follow the logic of this deep dive, they hurt us because of the market value we keep assigning to them.
Every single morning. So you are the central bank of your own life. You set the interest rates. You control the money supply. What currency are you going to start printing today? Are you going to keep minting coins from the past? Or are you going to flood the market with the present until those old grudges are worth absolutely nothing?
It's a powerful choice, and you have to make it every day.
That's the deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Take care.